The Power of Dedication and Belief, A Grandfather's Tale. It was a calm afternoon, and the golden sun hung low in the sky, casting long shadows over the green fields surrounding the small, peaceful village of Oak Ridge. The distant sound of birds chirping filled the air, while the cool breeze carried the scent of fresh flowers. In a cozy old house at the edge of the village, young Arjun sat with his grandfather on the wooden porch, sipping tea from a warm clay cup. Arjun was just 14, with big dreams but an impatient heart. He had often talked to his grandfather about his aspirations, to be a great athlete, to be famous, and to make his parents proud. But lately, Arjun had grown frustrated. He wanted things to happen quickly. He trained hard for a few days but would often give up when things didn't go his way. "Grandpa," Arjun sighed, looking down at his cup, "I don't know why it's so hard. I try, but then I feel like nothing is working. Maybe I'm just not good enough." His grandfather, an elderly man with silver hair and kind eyes, looked at him thoughtfully. A warm smile crept across his wrinkled face. "Arjun, let me tell you a story. It's a story about dedication, belief, and the journey we all must take to truly achieve our dreams." Arjun sat up straight, his interest piqued. He had always loved his grandfather's stories, and he knew that they often carried important lessons. "Many years ago," his grandfather began, "when I was a young man like you, I lived in a small village nestled between the mountains. Life was simpler back then, but it wasn't easy. There was a man in the village named Ravi. He wasn't very strong, nor was he the smartest, but he had something very few people had: an unwavering dedication and belief in himself. Ravi had a dream: to become a renowned sculptor. The problem was, no one believed he could do it. You see, our village was known for its artists, and many were far more talented than Ravi. He had no formal training, no teacher to guide him, and very little money. But there was something about Ravi that set him apart. He believed in his dream with his whole heart, and he was willing to dedicate himself to it, no matter how long it took." Arjun leaned in closer, captivated by the story. "What did he do, Grandpa?" "Well," his grandfather continued, "Ravi knew that in order to become a great sculptor, he needed to practice. But more importantly, he knew that dedication wasn't just about doing the work when it was easy. It was about showing up every day, even when it was hard. And so, every day, rain or shine, Ravi would go to the quarry just outside the village, where large rocks lay waiting to be carved. He would take his simple tools, and with all his might, he would chip away at the stone. Sometimes he worked for hours without seeing any real progress. His hands would blister, his body would ache, and still, the rock seemed unchanged." Arjun frowned. "That sounds frustrating. Why didn't he give up?" "That's where Ravi's belief came in," the grandfather explained. "He believed that every small chip mattered. Even when it looked like nothing was happening, he trusted the process. He believed in the power of persistence. He knew that greatness wasn't achieved in a single day or even a single year. It was the result of many small efforts, day after day." Arjun nodded, starting to understand the lesson. "But did he ever succeed?" His grandfather's eyes twinkled. "Oh yes, he did. But it wasn't easy. Years passed, and people in the village began to talk. They would laugh at Ravi behind his back, calling him a fool for spending so much time on something that didn't seem to be working. But Ravi didn't listen. He kept showing up, chipping away at the stone, believing that one day it would take shape. And then, after many long years, something incredible happened. One day, as Ravi was working on a particularly stubborn rock, the stone finally began to give way. Piece by piece, it started to reveal its true form. The shape that emerged was unlike anything the village had ever seen. A magnificent statue of a lion, so lifelike that it looked as though it could leap out of the stone at any moment. Arjun's eyes widened in awe. "He really did it?" "Yes, he did," his grandfather said, smiling. "And it wasn't just the statue that made Ravi famous. It was his dedication, his refusal to give up, and his belief in himself. People from all over the region came to see his work, not just because it was beautiful, but because it was a testament to what a person can achieve when they believe in themselves and stay dedicated, no matter the obstacles." Arjun sat quietly for a moment, reflecting on the story. He thought about how he had given up on his training so many times because things didn't happen as quickly as he wanted. He realized that maybe he hadn't truly believed in himself, and he certainly hadn't been as dedicated as Ravi. So what happened to Ravi after that? Arjun asked. Well, his grandfather said, leaning back in his chair, Ravi continued to sculpt, but more importantly, he became a teacher. He taught others that the real secret to success wasn't talent or luck. It was dedication and belief. He would tell his students that the road to achieving great things is long and full of challenges, but if you believe in yourself and are willing to put in the work, anything is possible. Arjun looked down at his hands, thinking about all the times he had given up on his goals. Grandpa, he said softly, I think I understand now. It's not enough to just want something. You have to believe in yourself and keep going, even when it's hard. His grandfather nodded. That's right, Arjun. Dedication is like planting a seed. You have to water it, nurture it, and give it time to grow. You won't see results right away, but if you trust the process and believe in the seed's potential, one day it will grow into something strong and beautiful. Arjun smiled, feeling a new sense of determination rising within him. I want to be like Ravi, Grandpa. I want to keep going, even when it's tough. His grandfather placed a gentle hand on Arjun's shoulder. And you will, my boy. Remember, the journey is just as important as the destination. Every step you take, every challenge you overcome, brings you closer to your goal. And one day, you'll look back and realize that all those small efforts made you stronger, wiser, and more capable than you ever imagined. As the sun began to set, casting a warm glow over the fields, Arjun made a silent promise to himself. He would no longer give up when things got hard. He would dedicate himself to his dreams, just as Ravi had, and he would believe in his ability to achieve them. From that day on, Arjun approached his training with renewed focus and determination. He woke up early every morning, practicing his skills and pushing through the challenges that came his way. There were still moments of doubt, but whenever he felt like giving up, he remembered his grandfather's story of Ravi, the man who, through dedication and belief, turned stone into a masterpiece. And just like Ravi, Arjun knew that with time, patience, and perseverance, he too would carve out his own path to greatness.